Yo, what is up, guys? It is your boy, back at it again. Um, yeah, I was just, well, I was watching multiple videos, basically. It started out with, checking out, what happened to the Fortnite winners, like, or whatever, like, yeah, what happened to the Fortnite World Cup winners? So, this video basically covers, like, the top 10 people who won money in the world, like the Fortnite World Cup, which was a pretty big event back in 2019 for gaming at least, because Fortnite was just kind of a crazy phenomenon. And a lot of these kids, like, average age is like, I think, like 16, 15 or something, like maybe 17, because one of the guys was 24. He was the only guy that was above the age of 18. Um, yeah, a lot of these kids, they made like life-changing money, you know. Top 4 made seven figures, money that most people never see. But like, some of them took their money and left, didn't didn't have like the work ethic to become a streamer, be consistent. Some of them made it. Some became crypto dudes. Like one this Asian dude right here became like a crypto dude or whatever. And then finally was Booga, the guy who won the 3 million. Um, I mean, his work ethic is pretty good because like it shows in this video that I won't play the audio, but he basically he basically kept up with his streamer schedule, He kept up with his streamer schedule like uh I mean, he was averaging like 20K viewers, That's like millions of dollars already right there if you do that for like a few years. And I mean, this is like he went hard in the paint for like what, like from 2019 to 2024, so like 5-ish years, 4-ish years. Like, yeah, I mean, he deserves all his success to be honest, but as of recent, he started gambling, and that's kind of like the segue I kind of wanted to make into that, where twitch.tv book let's see. Yeah, his most recent his most recent stream is basically starting out with 5K in a rain bet account and then going all the way to zero within 40 minutes. And to be fair, this kid is a millionaire. You can't really you can't really fault the guy for doing something like this. Like, he in this video, like, this was 2 months ago. He's 23. He's 1 year younger than me, and he has seen more money than 99% of people. So, but that kind of just goes into it where it's like, even though you make your millions, and like, I'm pretty sure he's sponsored by Rainbet because he's like acting all like, I'm not gonna play the audio for this, but he's just acting like he's saying like he's in quote unquote Germany, but he's like, if you know, you know. Basically, what he's trying to say is like he's using a VPN saying he's playing in Germany and he's playing in like a random apartment that is probably in the US. Like, he didn't move at all. He didn't go anywhere like crazy. He just is in the US with a VPN to Germany. And that's basically the tactic a lot of these gambling streamers use, cuz like you can't really prove that like he's not in Germany. Cuz like windows closed, he's in a white room basically gambling. So, and he probably made a fuck ton of money from this stream right here. 5K rain bet gambling. Like, he doesn't even give a fuck. Like, he's just doing it for the money. But like, I just find it amazing where it's like people who make like millions of dollars can still take on deals like this. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm gonna assume this kid took a deal because like it does like throughout the stream he doesn't seem that invested. Like he's talking about the games like he cares, but like I don't know. It's like either or, you know. If he took the deal and he's gambling, it's like good for him. But if he's just gambling for the sake of gambling, it's like that goes to show like when you have these millions, it doesn't amount to anything if you're not like complete within. And I mean, he still has a lot to learn, you know. Like he's a young kid. He's just enjoying his life. So, but the segue I really wanted to go was to this CoffeeZilla channel. Uh, what am I saying? Everyone knows who CoffeeZilla is. This CoffeeZilla video about gambling. It was yeah, exposing gambling. Um, and essentially, it's basically just going over how all your favorite like all the big celebrities, any celebrity that has any ounce of like street cred or just any sort of product that like is on like niche like everyone knows who plays Counter Strike. It's all gambling. It's all gambling sponsors. But now it's like modern sports. It's all gambling. Like you see Theo Vaughn, you see Joe Rogan, all gambling sponsors. Every one of your favorite like podcasters, like even like Thorin, you know, I watch a lot of Thorin content. He's sponsored by Polymarket, you know. He probably gets like paid like what 3,000, 5,000 to just promote Polymarket on his podcasts, and he runs multiple. So that's like what? Like if he runs like 3 podcasts running Polymarket ads, he's making 9,000 essentially every month from just gambling sponsors. That's pretty crazy, you know. That's like lowballing it. If he's making 5,000, he's making $15,000 a month. It's like it's insane. And this video is really good, by the way. It's probably CoffeeZilla's best video ever. But essentially, the reason why gambling can't be stopped, as explained in this video, is how can like gambling, how can gambling lose? That's like the real question. How can gambling lose? Because the average American is struggling out there. They don't see like the light at the end of the tunnel, you know. Food, living costs, everything goes up. Life becomes harder. And and if you have that little fringe uh chance of even making millions, you know, you're going to take it. You're going to keep grinding away at it even though statistically it's almost impossible. Like it you can't show a gambling addict stats on why they'll never win. It's because there's always the chance of winning that is what is keeping them hooked. That is the reason why it continues. And with the people who are ultra successful, as we like the way like society sees it, like normal people see it, like celebrities who are incredibly successful, like people who have music careers, podcasts that make multi-million dollars, they've been bought out by these big gambling companies because whatever dollar amount these guys are offering, it's just too much. Like if you were offered $100 million to just promote gambling, who can say no to that? Like who can really say no to that? It's really hard. Like you'd have to be Jesus Christ in this in like the soul to reject that kind of money, you know? You'd have to be like an incredibly deluded devout Christian or like someone or like a monk, you know? It's like just people who are disconnected from the world from the modern world and don't accept the things that come with it. It's people like that that are like that can reject it. Because even the people who have it made, they're not rejecting this money. A lot of them take it. And I know there's probably like some fringe actors, some people who don't take these kind of money and stuff, but it's like It's so few and far between. It's like, and even if they don't take the deals, it's almost like it's pointless because it's gonna the next famous guy behind him is gonna take that deal and influence his audience. And there's a very good chance like people in the same like categories of like music or podcast when they get what the okay when they have like a certain audience, those audiences are overlapping, you know. So it's a very good chance that like they're just gonna get the fan either way. I think it's like super bleak though, because average people, like 1 in 5 people, 1 in 5 men can't see like a future of just working and doing something because I don't want to get too deep because like I'll talk it from my perspective, okay? Where like you you see okay, like you see somebody on Instagram or like an influencer, they have the money, they have the cars, they have the girl, they have the life. You know, you see that and then you compare it to yourself. You compare it to yourself, you know, maybe you do have it hard. Maybe like let's like say like you grew up in like a one bedroom apartment. You grew up in a one bedroom apartment. You have no clothes. You have no clothes. You have no like girls aren't even looking at you because you smell funny, you know. And you're supposed to just make something out of that. And then if you have a phone and you're bombarded by all this gambling and like you see like how people can make it, they can win millions. Like even at the gas station, you see like these $1 million tickets. You're gonna be susceptible by that. You know, there's always that nagging feeling in your mind that like I have a chance, I can do it, even though like it is very unlikely to happen. It's just very unlikely. You know, and if it does happen, you know, God bless that person. But there's like a whole nother topic I can go in about how like most people who win money from gambling or like lottery tickets end up just pissing their money away and shitting it like away completely and end up in a worse position than they could have ever been. You know, and I want to get back to like this video that CoffeeZilla made because I really think this is like modern art right here. You know, I'm not gonna hold this guy up like he's Jesus Christ or anything like that, but what he made here was very impactful. You know, if like the people who quote unquote are successful and have made it can still take in more money, what does that say about the human condition? You know, I think it goes back to it. You know, like only you within can fulfill that like meaning part, like the meaning that you put into life. No amount of money, girls, cars, drugs is gonna change that. Even the people who say gambling is bad, they'll still take it because it's just ungodly amount of money. It's just yeah. I don't know. Part of me part of me understands why people would take this kind of deal. If I was put in a position to take like a $10 million deal, a $1 million deal, a $50,000 deal, I'm taking it. I'm taking it. Without doubt, I am taking it. You know? If you can build a following to get $3,000 a month from a gambling website, like, I mean, hey, I don't blame you. It's hard out here. Rejecting money would just, like, for example, another person that comes into mind when I think about like rejecting the money is Nico, not Nico, not Nico. This guy recently went homeless. Nico, not Nico. If he's like super fringe, like people don't really know him. He looks, people think he's like gay or like this is his sister or some shit. Like I don't know. His fan base is a little fringe. Like he has a very small following, 50K subscribers. Like I shouldn't say small, 50K subscribers is a lot of people, but about like what, like 4 to like 20,000 viewers on average. He recently went homeless. Not in like the worst way possible, but like it was very circumstantial. He didn't choose it. But he recently rejected a rain bet deal, to promote gambling, and he rejected it. This guy who, if you look at him like and you want to judge, you might like I'm all judge because this is what I was thinking. Like he doesn't look like he has much. His life story is very unfortunate, like moved out at 17, likes drugs, like, you know, or I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't say likes drugs. Maybe he does. He looks like he smokes weed a lot, to be honest, but and he's able to say no to like a rain bet deal, you know? So it says a lot about his character, but he regret I think he regretted it, to be honest. Like and he's been like asking for money to help like for help and stuff and I don't blame him. Panhandle all the fuck you want at that point, like brother's going through it, no shame. I just I kind of want to close off the gambling stuff by just saying how like it's very it's so dangerous when gambling is being promoted like this because I think it has like it's like it relates to how like Rome fell when the end days of Rome was falling where people where it was like the dice handlers I think they were calling them or whatever like being a dice handler or like being someone who plays dice all the time was considered something cool and it just worries me. I don't know. I got a lot I want to do with my life. I don't want the end of an empire to come before I can even like have kids and really experience the full human experience. That would fucking suck. I don't want to end up like the like that one kid in the Titan sub, 19 years old, probably only had like one or two girls ever in his life. Bop went down in that sub, fucking got crushed instantaneously. I think about that from time to time. I'm just like, bro, like I could not imagine being trapped in like a little tube, knowing that you will actually die because the guy who's piloting the sub is shitting his pants, and then just knowing that like your whole life ahead of you, you only got to experience 19 years of your life. That's so fucking sad. But really, yeah, getting back to the point of like about how like gambling really targets like just like poor people, average people, like rich people. It targets everybody. If you're like a high middle class family, like you're an 18 to 21 year old, well, I'll even expand the range. It's more like 18 to 30 year old. If you're an 18 to 30 year old, high middle class, you're gonna have disposable income, and you're more susceptible to just placing occasional bets here and there. But that all adds up into their books. And it's just a drain on like just enjoyment, you know. If you need to put like money into a game to feel the excitement from it, like do you even care about the game, you know? Like my history with gambling started with Counter-Strike skins and I did that shit when I was like 15 years old. Gambling like hundreds of dollars away. I got my gambling fix out when I was like 15. Some other niggas got got hooked with that $100. I found the end of it. I recently got back with online poker, online Texas Hold'em, but I also realized that like sitting in my room for like 4 hours a day fighting for $4, it really isn't that enjoyable. I'm not having fun. And most of the time I get frustrated too. I just think about it too. Like, I'm only happy when I win. I don't actually enjoy the game. Like those, and then I did some sports. I did some like CS:GO match betting, but I also realized that that also didn't make me have fun watching the games either. So, it was just a lot, man. Like, and another thing with the gambling thing is that like that income that you're using on games, on poker or whatever, it could go into an investment account that is very more like it's very likely that it will go up or stay in like a stagnant place. If it goes down, buy more. But instead, like the majority of Americans are consumed by gambling. You know, I like before making this video, like the thing I wanted to start out with talking about was how like if you can just not gamble, watch porn and smoke weed, you are like above 99% of people. Like abstaining from those three, oh, that was a fart. Abstaining from those three activities literally puts you like in another echelon of a human being. Like I shouldn't glaze it up too much. It's I stole this from somebody else, but I want to expand the thought a little bit. Gambling, it taps into our nature of it taps into into like the dopamine of like there's a possibility when like it's like this the best way I can compare this is like when you start asking around to see if like a girl likes you or not, you're always thinking there's a chance that she actually might like you, even though she would have probably already shown you that she likes you. So you holding on to that chance is you coping with the fact that like it probably already was over. I hate using language like that, but all I'm saying, like I already explained this in another video, where it's like a girl will give you hard choosing signals if she really wants you. Girls don't play around really anymore. At least now they don't. Um, but to get back to it, yeah, gambling really taps into like that dopamine that we have of there's a chance. Um, the promises of a big win. You're imagining the lifestyle change you're gonna have, how it's gonna save you magically. Um, and if you're like allergic to hard work or the grind, it gives you more incentive to just keep like pecking, like just keep like scratching the scratch off ticket, buying another lotto ticket, spinning the wheel on a roulette table, whatever it is. Whatever you think is gonna make you that money that's gonna change your life. I think for a lot of people who see that there's not a lot of hope out there, they see that gambling is that one avenue that gives them that hope, that gives them that chance, however little it is, that they can change their life with fuckloads of money. And at some point, it just becomes like a fixation kind of thing. Like if I have a chance to choose, like it gives the illusion of choice also, where you get to pick your opinion on who you think will win, and there's a payout for that. It's like a fun choosing game. It's a fun coin flip game, a choosing game where you get paid out money potentially, not even guaranteed, you know. And that's another thing too. It plays on the risk factor too, where when you put in that money, you get that little adrenaline rush, like, oh, something might happen, good or bad. Porn is a pretty simple one to explain. Biologically, humans are predispositioned to want to recreate, like procreate, have children, and porn pretty much attacks all of like just the things that make up a human. You know, the like for women and men, the desire for the opposite sex, exaggeration of one's fantasies. Girls can play up whatever like just the human experience. Like you can play up whatever fantasy you want through the genres you click. You can have any access to anything with the porn categories. And Loki, it's like a little bit tabooish. So like you're feeling like you're doing something naughty, and that you're not allowed to do it, but you do it anyways because it feels good. It plays like there's like a lot of psychology that goes into that where it's bad, but it feels good, so let's do it. But overall, the bad feeling will come back no matter what. It's when you can. It's like how dopamine works. When you do something dopaminergic, dopamine boosts, but it has to go back down to baseline. It has to go further down to get back to baseline, and that's how porn addiction really plays in our head. Though it gives us this really big peak. You know, it gives us this big peak in dopamine, rises up, and then it crashes down, and then then when we're down, if we don't let ourselves reset and we want more and we want to get that dopamine high up again, we got to use a lot more, and then that's how like the cycle of like people have seen that graph where it's like dopamine graph throughout the day. I think it's like some shit like dopamine graph throughout the day with phones. Uh, it's like something crazy where it's like your dopamine used to just rise up, go down, rise up, go down, like sporadically. It's more spread out. But now with the phones and like, especially short form okay, wait. Dopamine graph on short form content. Oh, come on. Where is it? I saw it somewhere, man. Fuck. Give it to me. It's basically like with normal like just like you watch a movie, you read a book, watch a TV show, you enjoy good food. It goes up, goes down, is normal throughout the day because you're not attacking your brain mentally with like all this short form content. And then a person who just keeps watching TikTok for like 2 hours, you can see that like the dopamine graph negatively goes down. While like a person who just has a normal day, it's just baseline. So, but over time, your dopamine goes down when you watch short form content, watch porn. It just like not significantly, but it gradually goes down to the point where you need so much of whatever you're watching to just keep a regular baseline. So it's basically like drugs. It's just basically like drugs. Like all of these things, they activate the same parts in our monkey brain that make us feel good in the moment, but afterwards because we know we just betrayed God, or if you don't believe in God, you betrayed yourself and who you are to a fundamental level. Um, yeah, you know, I think the porn argument's pretty easy. Like there's no real good argument for it. Like there's no I really don't see, like, if you're like a sex positive person, I can't imagine you being okay with porn. Like I just don't get that. That's like my brain can't even wrap the idea around that. If you're sex positive, you would be against porn 100%, you know? Porn does not equal sex positive. Porn is actually like sex negative, to be honest. Like sex positivity is like I imagine it very differently from how I think most people would think. I think it's like normalizing the fact that you can go to a bar, and if you get along with a girl, it's okay to hook up with her, or and I don't mean just like I mean I don't know, pump and dump her. That's a little sad. You want to talk to her again. You don't want to just get her once. That'd be kind of boring. You want to see what you can do with her later on. I don't know. Uh, like maybe I want to experiment with you a little bit more. Um, yeah. I think we can move on with the porn thing, anyways. And then with weed, I mean, geez, I mean the feeling that weed gives you, it activates dopamine. Um, just the act of like lighting up, sparking, and the feeling that you get from it, it all activates dopamine. But really, like it with weed, there's no like real like scientific way to like put it. I think it's more of like a feeling kind of thing where you know when you're smoking weed, you're not doing anything productive. I think that's pretty clear. You know, with weed, you're not really doing anything productive at all. The things you do, you can't even be present for it. You think like these moments are being amplified because of weed, but the reality is after the first 15 minutes, you're just like stuck in this haze of like sloggishness. You're not really experiencing anything after that. Like the novelty of the experience wears off after 15 minutes, and you're either gonna need another light up or just do something else. Yeah, I don't know. I think those the trinity, the trinity right there of a goy is right there. I don't know. The the weed one is like a big one in my heart because I used to smoke like a fuck ton, and I've been like off of it for a while now, and I just see like how much time I've wasted because of that. The moments I missed because of it. And I can't take that back. So I'm kind of filled with like I'm filled with a little bit of regret. Like when I say a little bit, I mean a lot. A lot of regret because of all the amazing moments I didn't fully experience or was present for because I was just so high out of my mind most of the time. And the porn, it's like it's more trauma based, you know, like discovering porn at 8 years old was probably not good for my brain. And then later on in middle school, when we got iPads, I would just search up porn on the iPads all the time. That was fucking wild, bro. The teachers must have been like, "What is wrong with this kid? What is he watching?" Type shit. I think, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, little Eddie here, fucking watching porn from the age of like what, 12 to 22, 21. It's fucking crazy. I mean, yeah, it took me like about this long to be able to talk about it reasonably. And gambling, it's like I had stints of it here and there, but it wasn't like gambling is like probably like the least addictive, like the least not addictive. The gambling hasn't been an issue for me in my life. So, it's hard to relate to it, especially like seeing all these ads. Like whenever I see an ad about like DraftKings, Prize Picks, FanDuel, I'm like I kind of just roll my eyes because I already know what they're trying to do. The whole point is they want you to put money into their account, make them money. You know, that's it. You know, I'm not trying to wear this like badge of honor. Like I don't smoke weed. I don't do. I don't watch porn. I don't gamble. I'm better than you. I gotta stop thinking like that. That's just so immature. Like I can't tell the human being next to me, stop watching porn, stop smoking weed, don't gamble, it's bad for you. Maybe they use that stuff to cope. Might be a sad cope, but maybe that's all they know. They might know it's bad, but they don't see any other way. They don't know another way. You can't help them because their predisposition to these elements is different from me. I can't I can't tell the horse to jump, kick, and drink the water. I mean, I probably could if I actually. I don't even know. I don't even know. But I think you guys get what I'm trying to say. Where it's like some broke ass nigga sees gambling as like a way to make it out or have a chance. Who am I to tell him that he's wrong? I can't. I can't give him a fucking solution to this economy. I'm I'm a 24-year-old living with my parents, and I'll probably be living with my parents till I'm 30, if we're being realistic. At this point, you know, I'm not saying I want to. I'm saying it's the best option financially for me. Unless somehow I have a girlfriend that makes like comparable money to me or more, and then we decide to move out together. But that's like a dream world right there. The more realistic option would be like I have a friend that makes comparable money to me and we can move out. But what's the point of doing that, you know? Like what's the point of spending like 800 on rent every single month? That compounds like 800 times 12, 8 times 12 is like what? Like 6 1 That's 9600. That's 9600. I think I did my math right. Yeah, that is 9600 for a whole year. That's a lot of money to like put into investments that could easily go up 30%, 20% with this kind of stock market. I'm being generous. But it goes up. Money go up instead of being going to the landlord. You know, and it's like the original point I'm trying to make about how like when even like when I watch somebody like DBDR, if you guys know who he is, like I can't tell him what to do. I can't tell him how to live his life. If he's like fed up and he talks to people about like the way he thinks life is because of what he was presented, what he was given, what he's predispositioned to, what he was born into. I can't tell him no. I can't tell him that he's wrong. I I think me personally, I've been lacking a lot of compassion for my fellow human. I've been I'm trying to seek perfection in a world that doesn't offer perfection. I have a friendly autistic friend. He's a guy who doesn't shut out hard, like he doesn't like go all like alt right, woman hating type shit. He's a cool dude who's very chill. He's just a little autistic. I I fuck with him. But the moment he starts spitting rhetoric about hating women, I gotta warn him. I'm just like, dude, I'm not cool with that. Like, could you not? Oh my god, what a fart. Oh. But like I'm making up scenarios in my head. I'm just saying like if that occurred to me, I would just be very concerned. Yeah, I don't know. Just don't gamble. Pretty much it.